The time for us to have a chat is here. I want to address Candace Owens' latest video. Whether she sees it or not is really not my concern. However, the world should see it, especially the people that are on the fence on the right side. For as long as I can remember, Candace Owens was someone I very much respected, and she was right up there with Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, Charlie Kirk, to name others. She was doing great work against the left. She was doing great work preaching about conservatism for Trump. She just incredible debater, speaker, very elegant, very poised, very eloquent, and someone that I genuinely looked up to until she started her smear against Israel. Now, I want to say this and I want to make it very clear, okay? You can have a problem with the Israeli government, and that's fine. I am not here shilling for the Israeli government. What I am trying to explain is that people like Candace Owens are dangerous for Jewish people. You can question the Israeli government all you want. You have receipts? You have something that can prove Israel did this to Charlie Kirk? If you do, please release it. Let us see. But if you don't, and you're doing this because you're a true contrarian that's only talking about hot topics to get paid at this point, then you have no business doing that. You are going to get Jewish people killed. And before anybody sits there and says, no, she's only ever been against the Jewish government, she has no problem with Jews, is that why she calls them filthy rodents? When Jews question her stance, or when they say anything to her on X, a platform that I'm also on, I've seen her retweet and call them a filthy rodent. And if you know what filthy rodent is, then you know that she's jabbing and manipulating the conversation to make it seem like she's just calling that person a rodent. But we all know Candace is smart, and we all know about how Jews are compared to rats. That is anti-Semitic to its core. Kanye West has more followers on Instagram than Jewish people exist today in the world. Think about that. What a lot of people don't know about Candace Owens is that she had a falling out in 2019 at Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk and her were good friends. Keyword is were. He distanced himself from her, and this is widely available online. Look it up. I'll bring receipts if you want me to. But he distanced himself from her in 2019 when she started praising Hitler and talking about nationalism and whatever else that she went on a rant off. They let her leave quietly. And I say let her leave quietly. That's my opinion personally. I think that she was going to get fired. But if my best friend was the founder of Turning Point USA, he probably sat down and knowing Charlie Kirk and seeing his grace and how forgiving he is, he probably said, listen, you can't be a part of this anymore. I still love you, still respect you, but you're going to go that way and I'm going to go this way. Because we have seen that he has been pro-Israel this entire time. And yes, he has questioned things about October 7th, about Israel. Many have. To sit there and say that Israel did this without any logic or evidence is insane, and it's dangerous. A lot of people on the right are also talking about how, they're getting people fired. Free speech, this and that. The left doesn't like it. And a lot of people on the right, what I was saying is, they don't like it. They're like, hey, you can't have both sides. You're mad at them about free speech, but what you're doing is exactly turning into them. That's not true. Free speech does not mean you can say whatever you want without consequences. We're also aware that during COVID, these same people that are crying about losing their jobs did not care about the people that rejected the vaccine. They didn't care. They said, hey, you have a choice. Don't say you don't have a choice. Your livelihood is gone now, but too bad, so sad. You need to get vaccinated because we're righteous and you're not. And if you don't, you lose your job. Okay, so we're doing the same thing. You can't walk into a movie theater and scream fire without legal consequences if you're lying, right? I learned that in 2nd or 3rd grade, I think. You absolutely are able to scream fire in a crowded movie theater. Sure you can. That's the same year we learned about the boy who cried wolf. A very, very famous fable. Because when there really is a fire and you scream fire, no one's going to believe you if you do it too many times, right? That's what they taught us. If you continue to scream fire. And there's no fire, you're going to get arrested. There's going to be a consequence because you can't cause upheaval of other people's lives like that because you were just in the mood to scream whatever you wanted to scream. That's what the right is doing. There is rot in society. What happens when there's a strawberry that's going rotten and the other strawberries are next to it? They're all going to get rotten. Anti-Semitism is the first indicator in civilization before a civilization falls that there is rot in that civilization. The same goes with hatred. If you're breeding hatred against people, then you're further causing that rottening of society. Charlie Kirk is a perfect example of what happens when that rot gets out of control. Another thing I want to say to Candace Owens, darling, you are helping shill for the left right now. Why are you doing this? Why take the focus off of them? More and more stuff is coming out. Not everything is a conspiracy theory, ladies and gentlemen. I love me a good conspiracy theory. And I do not trust the government. And most of what we're told about is lies. But that is where critical thinking comes in. At the end of the day, there are so many theories already about Charlie Kirk's murder. It also makes it seem, it also is sad to me that there are so many things about his assassination right now. You want to know why it's sad? Because it's proof that nobody trusts the media or the government anymore. It's to the point where we're all driving ourselves insane. Think about what's going on right now. Nobody believes anything. This is the result of AI. This is the result of sharing videos from different podcasters who are just talking and talking without actually verifying anything, fact-checking anything. The media being biased, lying about everything. There are people that their lives were turned upside down when they truly found out that Trump isn't who media said that they were. I've had conversations with these people. I'm talking about real, life-opening, life-changing experiences happened to these people because they finally woke up. And some people that were too uncomfortable to have these conversations, they still live in that delusion because that's their comfort. Can you imagine finding out that everything you learned was a lie or everything you know is a lie? Not everybody can handle that, guys. In fact, most people can't. Most people cannot handle a truth bomb like that. Like everything you ever known was a lie. Everything we're eating is poison. They're trying to poison us. Like that kind of stuff will shift most people to a different perspective about everything. And that's why they say ignorance is bliss. Because the people that are asleep, they don't have to deal with any of these issues, any of these hard truths, any of these real issues. So Candace Owens, I'm going to say to you again, the world is fragile. And you left Turning Point USA or you got fired. It doesn't matter. That was all the way back in 2019. Whatever fallout you had with Ben Shapiro, let it go. You are now turning this into hatred towards Jewish people on the street. Do you understand that you are doing the exact opposite of what Charlie Kirk's mission even was? I hope the people on the right that aren't frothing at the mouth trying to blame Israel for all of their problems, there are still some of you left. I'm telling you right now, there is a bigger war out there. And we need each other. We need to not do this kind of divisive stuff to each other. People like Candace Owens will continue to exist in this world. For Christians, it's in your Bible. The weed from the wheats, it's getting separated right in front of your eyes. You think that assassination was so graphic and so public because it was a conspiracy? Or did God intend for it to be that way? Maybe people needed to see that viciousness. Maybe they needed to see it. Because what was the immediate reaction of the world following that? It was a complete split from the get-go. You were either horrified, scared for your own life, questioning things, mourning, or you were celebrating. Absolutely unleashing your demon before you can even stop it. You think that's by mistake? You think that's by chance? Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk assassinated. Staunch advocate for Israel. Ask yourself, why would Israel kill somebody that has been literally one of the loudest mouthpieces on the conservative side, if not the loudest conservative, to be pro-Israel? He questioned October 7th the same way I did, and I'm Jewish. That same day I said, how is it possible that they were in there for so long and IDF wasn't called, what happened? Something went wrong. Does that mean that Israel is immediately, that's it, they're the bad guy, they're the enemy, and every Jewish people should suffer? This is not me being a baby. We've seen this movie. The Jewish people, Candace Owens, we've seen this movie, and we're asking you to stop. We are asking you to stop because you're going to get a Jewish person killed, just like the left and the radical movement and these Dems that have peddled all this hatred with mainstream media year after year after year, marginalizing these people on social media, protecting them, giving them rights, closing down mental hospitals, telling them that their opinions are valid. This is not by chance. This is all by design. And what did it lead to? A public execution. And while we mourn Charlie Kirk, we are also seeing what happens and how God works in mysterious, beautiful ways, and how maybe the youth of America took this kind of tragedy and their idol for this to happen. Even the people that celebrated it are learning a freaking hard-ass lesson. We don't want your rot next to us. You want to rot, bitch? Go to the garbage and rot by yourself, because that's where you belong. There is not going to be a place in society where people should accept things like this. And we shouldn't. Why should we? It's 2025. Why should we accept that bullshit? I'm going to tell you again, Candace Owens. I'm now running on almost 12 minutes. Please stop this before you get an innocent Jewish person killed. You want to take up your war with Bibi Netanyahu and whoever else in the Israeli cabinet? Go for it. Do it. Whatever, bitch. Whatever you want to fucking prove to the world, do it. You have the freedom to do that in this country. What you don't have is the freedom to incite violence. You have followers, and people like your followers, it turns into a cult because you're breeding hatred. Where there is hatred, there will be rot. Keep your rot to yourself, or, change your narrative a little bit. Stop it with the filthy rodent. Stop it with this fucking empty threats at Ben Shapiro. He's not trying to take over Turning Point USA, okay? All he said was he's not going to let the movement die. Charlie Kirk himself said that he's one of his inspirations. Tupaya, bled. I'm done. I hope people listen to this and make a true effort to understand what I'm saying. All of this hateful rhetoric, no matter who it is against, is dangerous. Is dangerous. That is why it is not supposed to be allowed. That's it. That's all I have to say.